I know. I saw that.
So once we get up to the platform, you guys are going to see a M1 and an M2 button on there. M1 is going to be your main motor. That's this guy. This one powers everything that has to do with the big cylinders and the main pressures. It also comes with a speed pump and then a vane pump. It gives you the speed that you need. This is your secondary, your M2. This one only powers the bell door and then the strapper. The same thing, you have a speed pump down here. This window here is for the maintenance guys. If you ever lose pressure to the strapper is no longer working or it's making a weird noise, you see those two inserts right there with the coupler inside? Most likely that coupler already, it's gone. The reason why I would do that is because it's either too cold to oil, and every time you start up, it's giving too much amperage to the motor, creating it to spin harder, eventually giving that coupler to go. So we got to make sure that our operators, before they leave, to turn the key to the heaters on, so the heaters come on, so you don't have to be worrying about that problem. If you look over here, these are your main shutoffs. You have one here, one on the other side. They are connected with sensors, so if somebody wants to mess with you guys and does that, your motors are not going to turn on. It's going to do that. Whenever you guys are going to do filter changes, you have two breather filters, one here, one on the other side. Inside here, you have your two main hydraulic oil filters. You take these 4 bolts off. It's spring loaded, so it's going to want to take off on you guys. It's a big spring, so you ain't going to lose it. Take that off. The way we do it is we'll put a bucket up here. The filter's in a housing, so you can pull the whole thing out. Take the housing off, put the new filter in, shove it right back in. You have the two big ones, the two breathers, and then in here you have what we call the external filtration. This one in here has 2 small filters with a little coupler inside, holding them together. If you take these 4 bolts off, this thing will come straight down. It is going to be full of oil, so just make sure you go straight down with it. Here's your side glass for your oil. Here's your temperature. These are your 2 heaters, one here, one there. If you take that cap off, you'll see a dial on there, kind of like the water heaters. You can crank it up or bring it down some, depending on how cold it gets for you guys. If you guys wanted to kick in a lot faster or keep it hotter, you can do that. It's already preset, but you can always, check it and make sure it's what you guys want. Here you have your 3 hoses that go straight for your gatherer ram. 2 of them are pressure hoses. One of them is a return line. These are your pressure, this is your return. They go all back into this block here and then back into the tank. This is your main pressure transducer. If for some reason somebody's up here and dings this guy, you're not going to longer have pressures for nothing. That's pretty expensive, so let's try to stay away from that guy. Do you guys know, I'm sure you guys do know, how valves work and stuff like that? Yep, and then you have overrides on each one of them. Each one has a pilot light. So if you're getting voltage, you'll see the pilot light. If you're not, each one has a tag on it. You can follow it right back to the panel. Any questions on this here?
Is there a temp that on the oil that we should be shooting for? Is there too low, or is there?
If it's below 42, the heaters are going to automatically kick on as long as you turn it on the key.
So that's how it works.
Yes. But if you're not turning the heaters on, it still will turn on. It's just going to be a lot of amperage going into those motors, creating that bind between the pump and the motor itself, and that coupler is just going to destroy itself.
Do you run the heaters during the summer too, just year round?
I mean, I don't know how bad it gets here. You have both of these bay doors open, so it might get a little breezier than normal. So. Okay. Just really depends on however you guys see it. Okay. If you look in here, you'll see the big cylinder. This is the cylinder that we call the gatherer ram. Inside on this side, you see the track. If you guys want to walk this way, you see a track right there. There's 8 sensors from here to about here. That's G1 to G8. Once we go up to the platform and turn it on, you'll see it. All the proximity sensors, they're all the same. So whenever you need one for the door, one for the ejector, one for this, they're all the same proximity sensor. The way they work is they're sitting on that track, and once it detects metal, then it activates it. If it starts to get dirty under there and it's no longer it's no longer reading it, you might have to get in there and see if it's just dirty or if it's broken, or again it has a little pilot light. So if the pilot light's not working, you no longer have voltage to it. All those proximity sensors go into this box here. So if you want to cut your connection off there, you can to put a new one in. If it's a cable that's torn, you could do it all right there.
Cool.
So you don't have to go all the way back to the panel.
Cool.
This is the same thing. These are the same proximity sensors you have in there, the same as these. These are the ones for your doors. That's the cylinder for your door there. And then it has 3. 2 there, and then 1 in here. 1 right there. If you look here, these are what we call photo eyes. You have 2 there, 2 on this other side, 1 here and 1 on the other side. What they do is one sends the signal, the other one receives it. So one's always going to be green, one's always going to be red. That's the way they are. If one ever breaks, you got to make sure that you get them the right one, because they're different voltage, and you're going to burn it. The way those photo eyes work is once it detects the material, it blinds that signal, and then it'll start working. Here, for the maintenance guys, inside here, there's what we call the hold down. That one that keeps that gather in position. So these are my hold downs. This is my gather. Keeps him from wanting to do this. As time starts going by, you're gonna start having wear in the chamber, stuff like that. You can start taking some of these shims off and bringing it down. Make sure that gather ram is out when you try to do adjustment. Otherwise, you're gonna snap these bolts and you're gonna have a fun time. This one right here is a FerroGuard switch. It's magnetic. Let's say something's jammed in there, and now one of you guys has to go in, and you don't do your lockout tag out the way you're supposed to, and the machine is still on. If you open this door, it's gonna cut the power to the whole machine, just in case somebody wants to jump in there while it's on. Because again, the photo eyes are gonna see it, doesn't know you're a person. They're gonna see material, and that gather is gonna start moving. Any questions on that? This is your accent strapper. Again, this is for the maintenance guys. Cleaning it every day for whoever's operating it is going to be their best friend. Because if you just do your daily clean, lubricate everything, clean everything, it's going to run the way it's supposed to. Which means that you guys won't have to come over here and start tearing it apart. But if you do have to tear it apart, all these come out individually, so you can get in there and spray it down. What we've done at Sierra, we put those hard number tags on there. Mm-hmm. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you take them all off, you know where to go. Okay. A lot faster and a lot easier. I'm sure somebody from Accent's supposed to come out and give you guys an extensive teardown of the tire. I don't know when that's going to happen, but they're supposed to be out here.
Sure.
They haven't told you this?
Never told us that.
Well, it's not Phil, it's Accent. They'll reach out to you guys. Cool. They'll tear it all down, and then they'll have you guys put it back together.
Oh, sweet.
You do have some spare parts in the box for it, but again, if you guys want extensive training on that, then they'll help you guys out with that.
Just as far as maintaining that, Luis, what does Jose need to do? As far as
Your operator?
yeah. Or daily.
Daily, they need to lubricate it. If you open up this door here, see those 2 holes there?
Yeah.
Just, I use WD, but you can use WD or oil, whatever you have, and just get some in there. Every day. If they can get you a compressor or a blower or something that you can get rid of all the stuff that's going to be coming out, Every time you swap materials, you want to clean everything out. That's why we left you a good, nice gap here so you can get in there with a shovel and take all that stuff out. Especially when you're doing the wire, you're gonna get a bunch of little stuff hanging around. And at the end of the day, just make sure that everything's nice and clean. I know there's quite a bit of questions on that, but once we get it going, I'll show you how to operate it, and then go from there. Yep. That panel is just for the wire tire. Well, again, once it gets going, I'll sabotage it on purpose and then let you rewire the whole thing. This is the ejector. Once the bell it's at a complete cycle, it's gonna open the chamber door, start pushing it out. And again, it has proximity sensors just like the gatherer and the door right in there. See the other photo eyes? There's grease points on that bearing there, one on the other side, and down in where the sprocket is at the bottom of the conveyor, at least once a week. It doesn't take much, but somebody does have to go down there and do it.
Once a week, you said?
Yeah.
Once a week.
Everything is numbered and marked, so let's say one day you guys are dealing with something, you guys can call and be like, hey, it doesn't do a function that, slow down. Everything's slow now. So now we're going to tell you to look at a certain page, follow the wires, and we'll go straight through the inputs and outputs. Okay, those are good, and okay, we'll shoot for the next thing, which is the relays, until we find the problem. And we'll do it over the phone with you, so if it's something that we really can't do over the phone, then we'll send somebody out. But everything has these phase monitors here that you can bump test everything to make sure it's running properly. If for some reason you guys ever get the belt stuck, if you just swap this one with this one, T2 and T3, that'll make it go in reverse.
Is the modem hooked up for the troubleshooting?
Yes, it is.
That's it right there?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
No, that was
So-
an add-on that
So again, if it's something that you guys need help with, they could remote link to it and see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, I know we took that option
Yep.
now for it.
So if we do this, now we have power to everything. This is your safety relay for all the safeties that you have. Let's say I hit this one. See how the lights went away? So if for some reason, because the machine will still power up, just motors won't turn on. If somebody activates a safety relay, it could be one of the conveyor ones, this one on the panel on the strapper. You're not gonna have the CPU to come on. So just make sure you have all three lights and you're good to go. If you want to bump test stuff, you can do that. See, I just moved the conveyor. That's if for some reason you guys ever get some jam, you can do it from here.
Okay. So a lot going on.
This guy right here, I'm sure you guys dealt with this already. Each distributor block has its own test port. You can hook up to each one of them and find out if you're getting the pressures that you need.
Each block has one?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it? Right there. It's probably on the other side, but you have one there. One over there. This one's probably on the other side. Just to be able to do your test.
This is all for safety too, right?
Yeah. Any questions?
Not yet.
Not
What
yet?
about you?
Call me, call the number.
You should change the number to mine, my phone's gonna start ringing.
Yeah, you're right. You could do that?
I'm gonna have Phillips next number he calls.
All right. Any questions on here? That's your motor, gearbox, and it's also wired with a brake on it. So it does have a release on it. If you see that up here on the top side, you see a little handle with see it? If you shove it in that hole, you can release the brake just in case it ever activates on you guys. So you can do that.
Oh, that's a little handle right there, so.
Yeah. Everything inside, every wall, every liner, it's all Hardox. It all comes out. Whenever you guys are gonna do relines, the whole cylinder comes out, the whole ejector comes out, everything comes out. Everything gets torched and put back in. On the blades, you have 4 sides to each blade, so you can rotate it 4 times. And there's also shims that come with the machine. They're in that crate over there. Once you start getting more wear, you're gonna start getting a gap. There's specifications on exactly what gap you need to have. So whenever you guys are doing a blade change, if it needs it, you can shim it. Yeah. Every time we suggest that every time you do a blade change, I know it sucks, but they want you to replace bolts, nuts, and the washers.
Makes sense.
Just because you don't know if they're already too wore or whatever the deal is. So if you guys want to go in, I can show you where the blades and all that stuff is.
Yeah, please.
From a toe, yeah.
Come on, cripple.
Might be behind you.
Yeah, it is right there.
I don't know if that is like a group. That's the wrong kind of group.
Okay. Wait for someone else. That's it?
That's it.
That's it.
You sure? You could do it in here. We're good? All right.
Yeah, I think so.
So again, this right here is the wiper. This thing flexes, it moves up and down. This is just to keep the material from falling back. This is not going to be a lot towards you guys. It's going to be towards the operators. So they need to make sure that they're paying attention. If they get too much material coming back, picking up this scraper and then going back there, they need to clean out that backside every single day. Otherwise, you're going to start, gouging that rod, and now you guys are going to have a fun time. Your blades are broken into 2 here. One there, one there. You can't see it right now, but there's a bolt pattern on top. I think it's 3 bolts. Yeah, 3 bolts to each blade, and you can flip them 4 times. Same thing with those. That is the one that you shim. That is the one that takes the shim. So what you can do just to verify is bring this gather ram to meet to that one and see how your battery gap is.
Okay, so then you were saying that there's a spec for that.
There's a spec. I think it's like an eighth of tolerance, an eighth of an inch. These are your hold downs that we're talking about. If you're ever going to make the adjustment, see how it's barely wanting to touch. As everything starts wearing, it's going to start dropping more. The gather. You're going to bring this forward, and then you can start dropping your hold downs right on top of it. Everything comes out. These are all Hardox. These strips are Hardox. Up on top, and the sidewalls of the gatherer Hardox. Same thing with the walls over there.
Now, just out of curiosity, with since we're, at least for now, primarily cardboard twine, that's what we're going to be running. How often do you think we're going to be having to go and do blade changes and stuff like that?
It's difficult to say. There's no time frame. You can go a few months. I mean, it really depends if the operator's really paying attention. But again, there's no exact time. But the good thing is you guys are not running no aluminum, no radiators, nothing like that. So it might be a little longer than what expected. Just keep an eye on it. Check it once a month. And then you guys will know your time frame. Everybody is different, so I can't.
And then when you're dropping these, do you drop it so it touches, or just a
bit of a gap? Just a bit of a gap. Otherwise, you're just gonna hear grinding and. These are the inside of your photo eyes. If for some reason a piece of cardboard or something gets stuck right there,
it'll just keep running?
The conveyor is not going to run anymore because it thinks that it's waiting for you to clear the material. it's not going to keep dumping material
Okay.
because that photo eye is thinking that it's material here, so it wants to get rid of this material first. And this gatherer ram is going to keep stroking
Okay.
non-stop.
Okay.
And he's going to be looking, he goes, hey, the gatherer's moving, but the conveyor's not working. Then he needs to come over here and make sure that these are clear.
Okay.
But again, you never want to come in here. You guys never want to come in here unless everything's off. I already did it wrong to show you guys, which I didn't lock it and tag it out.
That's how you take the key out.
That's why I took the key.
Yeah.
I pulled the key, I hit my e-stop, but still the proper way of locking and tagging out is put one of those joint locks, and if it's both of you guys in here, and then put one of those, both of your locks on there. Take the key with you. It doesn't hurt to open this door just to verify with an extra safety.
Not
and
just unbolts.
just some bolts.
Okay.
And that's in here.
Is this? I'm guessing. Is this probably the most common area where you're going to see issues? When if the machine's freaking out, it's probably going to be in here.
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
How long do those lines last?
Which ones?
The big hydraulic.
You should not have it to
Shouldn't have
replace.
blow?
No,
So we talked about it. We were
Okay.
over at United because it's like they don't move.
they don't move exactly.
They don't rub on anything.
Yeah, we keep them away from each other. We keep them away from each other so they don't shave, nothing like that. If you guys want to look, we actually put a piece of rubber on one because there was no other way. So we're keeping it from ever touching that other hose. Now, if they notice that it starts to drip, they need to tell you guys right away so you can go ahead and tighten it some more.
Yeah.
Because eventually that O-ring is gonna shoot out, and now you're gonna have a nice blowout.
Yeah, so that's a problem that we see normally. That's what we're trying to avoid with this new setup.
Well, then
It's 'cause they'll come to
whoever
us.
your operator is needs to verify, and if they can, they need to tighten it up themselves.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Because if you just tighten it before it gets too crazy, you can save it.
Yeah, but I know.
Yeah.
It's just, we
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
It's a grand theory, but
So you see the hoses? See how we try to keep them away from each other so they don't touch? Just that one there, we put a little piece of rubber on it. Each one has a split flange, so if you ever need to replace an O-ring, it's easy. You don't have to take them completely off. You can just take one side of the split flange off, and just be careful because they're all under pressure, and not just hydraulic pressure, but they're in here, really hard. So if you're doing it by yourself and you take this side off, it's gonna swing. So.
no way you can crack something and bleed off pressure or whatnot.
Well, every time that you return that gather home, it sends all the oil back to the tank. You're only gonna have whatever's in this line here, which is on that tube there.
But some of it's going to be unavoidable. Some of it is what it is. But
Now, if you have the gather out and you take one of these off,
yeah.
yeah, a golden shower, and not the kind you want.
I think for America, it's like 6 grand for oil.
Yeah, it's
500 gallons, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, here, now that he's over here, do you guys want to see the operators in the parts book? That's for you guys. You guys are going to get a colored one in the mail. That's just for now. That is every single part that is on the machine. It's all numbered, all tagged, and quantity. So you guys are never guessing on how many bolts, nuts, or whatever you need for anything you're doing. All you say is, this is a part number, this is a quantity, give me what I need. Whenever you guys do call for parts or service, there's a new way of doing it. I don't know, well, this is you guys' first machine, right? So you have to put a ticket in, depending on what you need. If it's parts, then you say you need parts. They're gonna ask you for the serial number for whatever you're using. The conveyor has its own serial number, separate from the baler itself. If you don't give them a serial number, they won't sell you the parts because they think you're doing it for someone else. So make sure you give them the serial number, and then they'll give you whatever you need. If it's service, then you say you need service, because if you don't say anything, they're gonna put you to parts, and then you say, no, I need service, and be like, now you're gonna be waiting for service. So there's a total of 4 guys in service, 4 on parts. I'm one of the parts and service, so you might get me, you might not. If you guys text me before, I can try to help you guys out sooner. Just to get you guys going. Yep. The real one. But that's going to change in another month. So. Who wants to go first? Turn it on. Yep.
Yeah, Matt, who's up there too, Matt?